Hi luminaries, in this video we are going to make pom-poms out of your Emoji Pom Pom Kit. These are so cute, and then make sure you check out our other video for the emoji necklace. This requires about 12 emojis, but this video will give you a quick start. Okay, so let's review what's in your kit. So in your kit are a nylon cord for stringing and hanging your emoji into a necklace. Embroidery floss, this is to make a tight tie for your pom-poms. Earring hoop, 2 jump rings, a pom-pom trim guide, a needle, yarn and emoji yellow, and then black for the expression in the eye, and then a loom tool. If you didn't get a loom tool, you might have gotten or already have some other ones as well, and I'll go over how we're going to use those. And then what you'll need are sharp scissors and then some glue, just a bit dab. All right, let's get started. Let me clear out my work area, and then we'll start making the pom-poms. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll bring in a bowl. I love using a bowl when I'm winding yarn. I find this really, really helpful. So you're just gonna put them in here. So what I'm gonna do, actually I'm gonna use 2 balls of yarn in this case, and I'm gonna actually double up. Doubling up allows you to wind in a much faster manner. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a formula in singles and doubles as well. So your first step in making your emoji is you're going to secure it to any of the notches here, and then you're going to wind. We're going to go 15 revolutions here with the double yarn. Single is 30. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's 15. And then just secure this here real fast. You're not going to wind too tight or too loose. And then what you want to do is just spread out the yarn kind of evenly here. Then you're going to take your black yarn, measure out the distance, and then we're going to cut 2 pieces. These will be the eyes right here. Okay? Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to make an X. 1, 2. This way this holds down your black pieces of eyes there. And then here, in this case, I'm going to go 60 revolutions or 120 revolutions if you're using singles. Okay, if you would like to have a even larger emoji, you will require to wind more yarn. So go maybe 70 or 80 or even up to 100 revolutions if you like. So this is probably about additional 80. So I'm going to fast forward through this part. Okay, again, winding, not too tight, not too loose. Okay, so as you finish winding, just secure this to any of the notches, and then you're going to cut your tail. Oops. Okay, and set this aside. And now you're going to cut 2 feet of your embroidery floss. So 2 feet, you could just go from the tip of your fingers to maybe the middle of your bicep. That'd be about 2 feet. Okay, set that aside. And then you're gonna put your yarn underneath the yarn bundle here. So let's review quickly. If you're using the other tools, this is what you would have. You would wind on top. Clearly you'll have more yarn here, and then you're gonna slip the embroidery floss under your yarn bundle. Okay? Now we're gonna make 1 tie, not a knot, just a tie. Make sure your ends are even. And you're going to make 1 tie. Okay, then you're going to take this end, slide it under, and flip your tool. And then you're going to make a surgeon's knot, which is 2 overhand knots. So, like so. And then you're going to tighten. Okay? Now you're going to slide this off the tool. And then working very close to the knot here. Okay, so see how I'm making really, really small pulls, working closely. You don't want to pull like this. Pulling like this won't tighten the knot as well, and will actually could break the floss as well if you pull really tight. Now you might need another person to hold down your knot, or you just hold that down with your finger and make a really quick closure. I like to do double. Okay, and now you're gonna cut that. Set this aside. I'm gonna actually also now show you how to wind the yarn for if you're making the earring, which is this. Okay, so bring in your jump ring, and again repeat the same process and go 15 revolutions since I'm doubling up, or 30. Okay, once I'm done, just going to secure this here, getting my black yarn, and I'm going to trim. Set that aside. Now lay these down. Make sure there's just a little bit of a distance between them. Whoops. And then again, actually, hold on, let me set this down pretty well. Okay, and again, make an X to hold the yarn in place, and then wind over. I'm going to go about 60 revolutions. Okay, so now that I'm done, I'm going to secure it to any of these notches, doesn't matter which one. Cut, and let's set this aside. Now we're going to repeat the same thing for the earring. So cut your 2 feet piece, and then take this under the yarn bundle. So, and then make sure your ends are even. Okay, now we're not going to make a tie. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this jump ring is closed, and then we're going to thread one end through one side. Now we're going to take this end. See how it's kind of split? All you have to do is just wet it a little bit. Okay, and then thread it going the other direction. Oops, see how that's split? I'm going to try to fix it. Okay, I think we're all set here. Okay, and now see how this is kind of in the middle, and we're just going to tighten. We're not going to make a knot. Make sure this is in the middle with this end. Take it underneath and flip over. And now we're going to make 2 overhand knots. 1, 2. Okay, tighten again. Now we're going to pull this off the tool. Set that aside, we won't need that anymore. Working closely to the knot, make tiny little pulls to make sure it's really tightened. Leaving your finger on it, or asking somebody for their finger. Close that out really quickly. Pinch down to make sure it's completely secure. Okay, and now we have this one that's going to be for the earring. So you could imagine here, we're going to trim the pom-pom and then eventually go like this to hang it. Okay, so let's now trim the pom-pom. I'm not going to fast forward this part, so if you do want it fast forwarded, I'll put the minute down at the bottom here for the next space, and then you can follow through from that way. Okay, so bring in your pom-pom trim guide. You might have the wooden one. Either way, cut your loops. Okay, make sure you get all the loops. If you don't, no worries, it'll probably come out later. So you can already see the eyes. So you're going to be eyes on both sides. We're going to end up trimming a pair out. Now with your pom-pom trim guide, just lay it right on top and trim. Following the shape. So the pom-pom trim guide won't get you to a completely perfect orb-like shape like this. We're going to have to actually trim it down even more, but this will get you a great head start. Okay, so this is pretty done. Still, you know, shaggy at the bottom there. And then you're just going to turn your hand one flick and then trim the rest. Okay, so now I'm going to fuzz this out a little bit. So still, it's a little shaggy. Now we're going to make it so that it's an pom-pom like this. And what you do is, what you want to do is maybe stand up, look down on your pom-pom, take a patch, cut a tiny patch off, and see how that density is really nice. That's what I really like. And now I'm going to just trim it all the way around like this. Don't start turning your pom-pom around all over the place. Just trim around the perimeter. Okay. You might end up going 2 or 3 times all the way around just to clean things up. So, okay, so I went 1 complete round, and now I'm going the second time just to clean things up. Okay, this is looking pretty good. See my eyes? Okay, now we're gonna trim around this shaggy end right here, using the same technique, staying in one area, one perimeter I should say. Okay, now I'm going to so this part clearly takes a little bit. Now, see how I'm just fuzzing it a little bit? So just imagine this is like going to the hairstylist. At the end, they're taking very, very little off. And that's what I'm gonna do now, okay? So it's pretty round. And now I'm just gonna focus again, one side, or one perimeter at a time, I should say. Trimming off very, very little. Cleaning my fingers in the process. Okay, again, fuzzing it up. Since this is going to be, you know, the only trimming I have, just want to make sure I fuzz things up, pull out any yarn, anything. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I'm almost done. Okay, now I'm going to repeat for this one. I'm going to fast forward this part, but I'm going to keep it on the video so that you could actually see the process again. It never hurts to just kind of follow, because I do think this part is the trickiest part. Set that aside. Now we're going to take the one with the earring and do the same thing. So let's bring back our black yarn, our glue, our nylon piece, and then our other earring hoop, and then the needle. Okay, so this one I think is the one that has the earring hoop. So let me just feel this out real fast. Yep, it does. Okay, so before we put on the expression here, we have to decide which way the pom-pom is facing up, and then also which set of eyes you like the most. So with the earring, this is pretty easy because you only have one point here because you're jump ring. So you're gonna have to decide which one you like the most. So I like these set of eyes. So I'm going to finish this one first since it's a little bit easy. Now put your earring hoop in there, okay? And then I'm going to cut out these eyes because I'm going to keep these. So all you have to do is go in with the tip of your scissors, cut that off. And that's it. With the one that you're going to hang, there's two ways to doing this. So you could hang it with a whole bunch of emoji sitting next to each other, or you could use it as a singular hang, which is just off the top here. So if you are going to hang it like so, you're going to actually poke your pom-pom, see where that tight middle cord is, and it's right here. I hope you can see it. Okay, you're actually not going to connect your pom-pom through there. So if you're hang it from the top here, I'm going to use a different color thread because I'm not going to keep it in there. And then you're going to go underneath this, okay, like so. Hang it. If several yarn pulls out, you just make a trim. And then you're going to put on your expression and then cut out the eyes, the rest. Or you could make it two-sided. Okay. If you are going to actually string it like this, I do recommend getting a metal needle. Okay, so it's just easier. So you're going to take a metal needle, thread it, and see where that tight middle cord is. So remember it going like this. So you're going to take your needle and you're going to string it this way. Okay? Because you want to put another pom-pom right next to here, maybe on the other side. If you do it the other technique, it won't hang nicely. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trim out two eyes. Okay, so I'm going to move these eyes a little bit closer together, and you could do so by just using your needle here. There we go. And then you might have to do some trimming since you fuzz up some yarn. Perfect. Okay. Oops. Okay. There we go. Oops, sorry. It's a little fuzzy. This one. Looks like I split. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take yarn, just cut a tiny bit of an expression like this. I'm going to do smiley faces on both. Measure it out and then cut. Do two pieces. If it's too long, no worries. You could always cut it later. Okay, so let's bring our earring back. Take your glue. Use your needles, really nice to help it manipulate the glue. Put it on one side. I can tell already this is a little long, so I'm going to cut and then put this down. Okay? And then you could use your finger or use your needle to push it down. Don't worry about the glue showing, it will dry clear. If there's some fuzz, you could just trim it out a little bit. So that's one. Now for this one, we're going to do the same. I think my smile is too long, so let me trim this first. Okay, get this glue off my fingers a little bit. Oh, and forget this one. I have to trim out the other eyes. Okay, and there you have your emoji. Have fun and enjoy these fun emojis.